Okay. Life in Depth. Episode, what are we? 9, I believe. Let me wait for Sobek. Let me message him again right quick. Okay, sorry about that. Had to get in touch with Sobek so that I can let him know that I am in the space. Hopefully he can join in. Let me send this to him. How are you all today? I am feeling renewed. I see some of my sisters in here. And our session in the Go Bravely mentorship community was exactly what I needed before coming into this space. Excuse me. And what I find funny is that before guiding and leading my session in the Go Bravely mentorship community, I was able to be in Sobek's space when he went live. And so beautiful how these full circle energy moments, like we need each other's energy to go on to the next space, right? How are you, brother?
Peace, peace. How you?
You know how divine your universal greetings are for me. I'm a greeting.
Say it again, please. I don't know if it's my internet or your internet, but it broke up. Say it again, please.
Oh no, you are a little bit quiet. See, I was gonna say, if you don't mind, kind of the greeting. I love your universal greetings. They are divine, and I know they touch others in this way.
Yeah. All right. Tokozai, Shalom, Hetapu, Hotel, Namaste. All the universal greetings from all around the world, because at the end of the day, we're the same people. We all trying to break the cycle of suffering. Give thanks. Tokozai.
Ashe. Gratitude for that. Now let me check. Are you all hearing us okay? Because you're a little quiet for me right now. But let me check my
I'm quiet.
sound.
Let's see.
For me, but let me check. Daisy, are y'all hearing us okay? Who else is still in here? D. Devin, you hearing us okay, love? Okay. All
Oh,
right. Well,
perfect.
it's good for me. Someone hear us.
Perfect. Give thanks.
Let me turn you up right here. There we go. So, I was just saying before you came into the space how, you said his video is just breaking up, but we can hear. Okay.
Mm,
Yeah, it is a little bit. It is a little bit.
chocolate. Oh, okay.
Um,
Wow.
I do want to turn my Wi-Fi off though, because it's been acting up for me, and I don't. There you are. There you are.
I wonder, can I get on my laptop and
Yes, and swap over. Okay.
can I? I mean, is that possible?
Yep, yep. You can leave and come back.
All right, let me see if I can log on real quick. And
All
please,
right.
everybody, please stay tuned because we're
Yes.
definitely
Don't tap out. Don't tap out.
yeah,
Don't tap out.
yeah, definitely gonna drop some knowledge on y'all today.
Yes, gems are coming through.
Uh,
Gems are coming through. Because so I just before I was coming in the space was just that it's ironic that before leading my session in the Go Bravely community, I was able to attend your session via live. And I needed that energy before I went into my space. And now I'm leaving that space this Sunday and coming into this live.
oh
It's
wow,
divine timing.
wow. So I mean, we'll just keep on going on my phone because my laptop is tripping. So
Okay, well, look, the picture is better, D
okay,
said. Okay.
what's
And
good?
Daisy said much better. Okay. All right. So we're just going to keep flowing with it.
Right.
Ah. Okay. So here's one awesome, Daisy, you asked this one. Here's one awesome question that we received, and it is, how often do y'all check in with yourself even when nothing is wrong? And what does that look like? What do self check-ins look like?
Mm. Oh, you
I'll
want
let you go first.
Okay. That's a good question. I think it's one of those things where the more you train self, going within self, the more it becomes second nature. So I've gotten to a point I've gotten to a point in my journey where from moment to moment I'm constantly checking in within self. One of the techniques I use is self-inquiry.
Mm,
How am I feeling? Who am I? What is going on in this moment? That's a technique I use to check in within self. Also, breath work. Also, uh,
brother.
uh, the sensations in the body, being aware of the posture. These are all the techniques I use to check in within self. Also, smiling. I've been getting into the habit of smiling more, showing more gratitude. Um, Again, that's how I check in with self. Uh,
Oh,
Becoming a mirror.
it was the smiling for me. It was the smiling for me because also I just want to touch on you being a male presence, you showing up as the man,
Mm-hmm.
and you expected to be some uptight, strong, don't
Yeah,
express, especially where we come from. To
yeah,
see you smiling,
yeah,
that speaks levels in itself. That
yeah.
speaks levels in itself. It was that right there.
And I had to recondition myself to smile more because as a child I used to always smile, and then as I got older, I was taught to be hard, to not show my emotions, because to show your emotions,
Mm,
that's a sign of weakness, but in reality that's a sign of strength. So I just try to be more. I'm teaching myself to be more open to how I express
mhm.
myself, and smiling more.
Yes, and it's the awareness of that. It's the self-awareness,
Mm-hmm.
really, of what you're truly feeling and how you express that, how you let, the divine express that through you. You are the vessel, so we got to let it flow, let it
Def-
flow, and when it feels right, tap in.
Definitely.
I love that. So it's kind of similar for me though. I would say even if something isn't wrong, I am practicing breath work daily.
Mm-hmm.
So I am always checking in with myself, and like you said, it becomes a second nature
Mm-hmm.
once you practice it so much. And it's all about that self-inquiry,
Mm-hmm.
because if we don't have that, and if we aren't like, looking in the mirror and saying, "Hey, you, what do you need to feel good?" Because it's just like talking to someone you deeply care about. How are you going to check in with them? That's what I usually ask myself. Like, that's how self inquiry started for me. Because it was, I didn't always express and show self love for me, and so to have tapped into that, for me it was like, okay, well, how do I even tap into this? So that's where I started, was mirror work. I looked in the mirror and was like, hey girl, what you need?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like, what you need to feel comfortable? What do you need to feel like you can express yourself and just be who you are, without judgment from you, without worrying about judgment from others.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's checking in and tapping in. And like you said, it becomes second nature, and you're no longer looking in the mirror at a stranger like, oh, dang, when is the last time I checked in with myself?
Mm-hmm. And what I recognize too is all is self, meaning like the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, um, the ugly, all is self. Like I don't even if I find a moment where I'm not focused, or if I find myself straying away within,
Mm,
that's still a part of the journey. Um,
Mm.
that is still part of the journey of being sometimes being just caught up in the moment and not being fully present. So I also give thanks to those moments as well.
I appreciate that input. Yes, because, and it's crazy because I literally had just posted a story the other day about how, like, I play no games with the women I work with
Mm-hmm.
because I play no games with me. And you are an extension of me, is
Mm-hmm.
how I feel deeply in my soul, that you are an extension of me. And so, how should I be treating that? And it's reversed as well. How should I be treating myself so that I can treat others that way?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Mm, I love that. And so, um, another good one was, how do you know you are on a spiritual awakening?
Mm.
Um, I might need a minute on that one. If you feeling sparked already, you could go ahead. I might need a minute on that one, really.
Okay. I'll just use myself an example.
Mm.
When I first started to meditate, learning how to meditate, that's when I became conscious of me becoming more spiritual. And the more conscious I became, I started to realize, even as a child, I was having spiritual quote unquote moments. I could,
Oh,
I could recall myself being putting myself in a trance as at a young age. I could recall myself at 3 or 4 years old feeling my right foot, thinking at that age that it was a ghost, but in reality, it was me just being aware of my right foot. Um, just the more I became aware, the more I started to see how everything was interconnected, and
mm,
and I've always been on this path. Because if we look at the word breath, it means spirit. So
mm.
if we're all spiritual. We're all spiritual people. Um, but once you really start to get in tune with yourself, you start to become more aware of your breathing. You become more aware of your body, the sensations. You learn how to observe yourself without judging. That's how you really start to hone in on your spiritual journey, and you can start to look back in your past and really see that you've always been on this journey, on this path. It's like awakening, like you're slowly starting to waken up to your true divinity, and it takes time. So that's my thoughts.
I love that. I love that. And I agree. I agree 100%. The part you touched on for me was breath. That means spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And we are all spiritual beings because we all have a spirit. Like, I've had people ask me, and being an energy worker, like, do you believe some people are spiritless, don't have a spirit at all? Mm, mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
No, because if you were birthed into this realm, there is a spirit within you. And it's amazing that you said, what you said about, like, being able to put yourself in a trance as a child, and now knowing what that means, now knowing what that connection is. I was similar in the way that, whew, and it's awesome that you touched on that, because that's one of the things I wanted to ask you about and wanted you to bring to light here, because I never forget when Taloria first said, I know this guy that I think y'all would just, and I was like, oh, okay, hit me, send me his profile. And now look though, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, and you're the first post, yo, that I saw. I was blown away because you were literally talking about being on a football field as a child. You remember tossing the football and everything, but you had chants coming through in your head, Native American chants and stuff coming through your head. And you were like, where is that coming from? I was like, okay, I gotta tap all the way in because, like, this right here, like what you talk about now, and deep gratitude also for sharing your mother's story.
Mm-hmm.
because I tell you what, you feel energy come through when you hear of and you read of experiences and people. And when they have that magnitude, you can feel the energy move through you. And I was literally in tears reading her story
Mm,
and just knowing you as a person now and your mission and like how it's all so connected. Like it's all so connected. And that's why I chose the song that I did for the reel that I made for us
uh,
because, man, the interconnectedness
mm-hmm,
and going deeper myself on my ancestral journey
mm-hmm,
and learning about my family. And man, you know what? Last week I found out from my grandma, I was talking to her on the phone, and we moved here to North Carolina in 2017.
mm-hmm.
Whatever, my husband got a job here, and so that's why we moved. Come to find out, Sobek, let me tell you that I don't really know my granddaddy's side of the family, my dad's dad.
Mm-hmm.
They live 20 minutes from where we're at right now.
Oh, wow.
If oh, and I got chills right now on the back of my neck. If spirit ain't got me here, I don't know what
Yeah,
did.
definitely.
Whew, I got chills on my whole body. But even deeper than that, I was on the phone with my girl Daisy and I reached out and I said, I gotta say this out loud, verbalize it right here in this sacred space that, like, universe, where do I even start? Where do you even start with the ancestral journey? Who do I go to? Where do I start? Some woman reached out on me on Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I think we're related. Da da da. We get to talking. She lived 20 minutes away from where I'm at right now.
Wow.
And she was like, so I'm reaching out to you because I want to start the journey of, learning my family background and da da da. She said, but I don't know where to start. I was like, the fact that you literally just came to me and said what I verbalized to the universe the other day is like, oh, what? I I think right now I'm in such a maybe you could put a word on it for me. I don't know the word, such a blank state that it feels euphoric. It feels crazy that this is real life right now, that I feel so aligned, that I feel like so guided by spirit and so guided by this inherent energy that I literally can't even explain where it's coming from.
Hmm.
So maybe you could put a word on that, but that's how I'm feeling right now. I'm like,
I mean, it just seems like you feel with gratitude, um,
mm,
wholeness,
ooh,
um,
that's the one.
with
That's the one that resonates.
with
Yes.
right now. Everything is in perfect alignment.
Mm,
Those are all confirmations that you're doing something right. You're doing something right. And when we
I
get into the
received
spirit,
that.
from my training, from the different initiations and the rites of passages that I've been through over the years, to have a connection to your ancestors is probably one of the most fundamental parts of being a spiritual person. That's the
Mm,
foundation, to have a connection
mm.
to ancestors, and also to create an altar, a sacred space for your ancestors, so you can have those dialogues that need to be had. Because there's certain things that you may not be able to share with another human being. However,
Oh,
you can share it with your ancestors, and also know that your ancestors are not beings outside of self. They are inside of self. They're inside.
mm,
So
mm.
when you're connecting with your ancestor, you're just connecting with another aspect of yourself, and that's very therapeutic. And every ancient civilization uh, always acknowledged those who came before them, uh,
Mm,
and a lot of the spiritual gifts that we have are not spiritual gifts that we just woke up one day with. These are things that have been passed down through the bloodline. The same way they try to trick us into believe that certain diseases are passed down through the blood, but in reality, there's certain gifts that are passed down through the blood that we overlook, and that's why tapping into your spirituality is so important because more than likely you are the one that received the medicine from your ancestors to continue to live off that, to live off that, to continue to push off that legacy. That is so. That's why acknowledging our ancestors is so important. This country was built off the acknowledgement of ancestors. For example, I went to Patrick Henry. Who the heck is Patrick Henry? I don't know. William Fleming High School. Like, who is William Fleming? And if you look at a dollar bill, George Washington. It just seems like in the African American community, they made us think that to acknowledge our ancestors was a bad thing, but in reality, it's very, very powerful. A movie, you probably watched this movie. It's an anime movie, Coco. Have you seen the movie?
Yes.
I mean, that movie right there gives a perfect blueprint on how powerful the ancestral spirit is.
I'm glad you touched on that. I am so glad that you touched on that. And it's so funny because we recently watched that with my oldest because
Yeah.
Halloween just passing, and he
Yes.
has a Hispanic American cousin who we were saying not everybody celebrates Halloween. Some people celebrate this, and we were saying why, and it's so much more. It's like you said, they try to steer us away from powerful minds. They try coming together. They try to steer us away of the power from the power of your mind because, and it's funny, Dr. Shelly Ann said something in the mentorship community today that I was recently touching on somewhere last week. I don't remember, but us only being able to tap into 10% of our minds and 10% of our brain, that's consciously. And that's what I find. That's why I was driven to breath work personally, because it's something about the magic of the way a body can release when you are in an altered state of consciousness, being tapped into your breath fully and into your body, and a lot of the work that you do. And that's why your TikTok, your videos of your energy work and you just letting it flow through you, it's so beautiful that you share so vulnerably like that because some people might think it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's because y'all don't even know yet. Y'all aren't even tapped in yet, and you're not on the timeline, and that's okay. It's okay, we all moving at our own pace. Let me see. Let me tap into some of these comments.
While you read the comments, I want to add on to something you just said.
Go ahead.
To do the energy work, the breath work, the yoga, the meditation, that's the future of how we're going to be healing ourselves. So if people are not getting on the wave now, they should start getting on the wave, because diet alone is not going to be how we heal. Being a vegan is not going to be the main reason on how you heal, because in reality, not everybody's going to want to go become vegan. So with that being said, just because a person doesn't want to go vegan doesn't mean that they can't heal. So meditation, breath work, yoga, singing, dancing, in a ritualistic manner, these are some of the things that we can start doing to really heal the body, mind, and spirit. And that's the wave. That's going to be the future. Using I'm actually going to Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditation training this Saturday. Well, coming up next Saturday. So I'll be in Orlando, Florida for 8 days, getting some powerful meditation training. And I'm very, very excited, thankful about this experience, because I know that this is the future of how we're going to be healing. It's not going to be just through herbs and vegan food. It's going to be with us really understanding how to use our mind to heal our body.
Oh my gosh. And it goes back, it's making me think of, really, once again, holistic healing. It's like you said, not everybody's going to want to tap into going vegan. Not everybody's going to want to tap into my breath work. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Because we all work differently, and we all have been through things differently. And not only been through things differently, we integrate them differently, right? So I always say to people, look, before you sign up for one of my programs or before you sign up for something with me, let's talk about it first, because my healing ain't your healing.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's okay. Like, we gotta be, once again, okay with not pushing our way of healing or something on somebody else, but sharing it and being like, take what you need, leave what you don't.
Hmm.
Because once again, we all going at our own pace and we all going through things differently.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I do believe that to be true. I didn't have the opportunity to meet my grandmother, but my aunt is always telling me that we have similar gifts and strengths. Ooh, that
Oh
part
yeah,
right there, because
that's deep.
Daisy,
That's
you
deep.
know, I was talking to Daisy last week about this with me. That's currently what I'm going through and why I feel drawn to dig deeper in my ancestry, because I feel my granddaddy's spirit moving through me deep.
Hmm.
Like, whew, I can't even explain it.
This is the reality. This is something that I may have asked you this question before, but this is something I ask my students like the first day of class, just to give them context of like how powerful they truly are. So stop me if I ask you this question. Have I ever asked you the question, when you look in the mirror, who do you see? Have I ever asked you that before?
You have no.
Okay, this is the perfect time to ask you that question. Okay, when you look in the mirror, who do you see?
And it's my granddaddy.
Perfect answer. Because most people say it with such what's the word? Their arrogance. They say they see themselves. So you say you see your grandfather. Now, when your grandfather look in the mirror, more than likely, who do he see? Who would he see?
I'm gonna say, a female figure is what I'm feeling because, woo,
More than likely, though, would he either see his mother or his father?
his mother.
Okay. And when his mother looks in the mirror, who would she see? More than likely.
I know. Oh, so Beck, you taking it so deep.
More than likely, who would she see? Her mother and her father, right?
Yep.
And more than likely, when her mother and her father look in the mirror, who would they see? More than likely, their mother and their father. So in reality, when we look in the mirror, we just don't see ourselves. We see a collection of those who came before us. That's the reality. So it's no, oh, when I look in the mirror, I just see myself. No, you didn't. When you came into this world, you did not pick your nose. You did not pick your lips. You did not pick your eyes. You did not pick your hair. You did not pick the habits that you have. You do not pick the behavior that you have. These are things that have been passed down through the DNA. And now you are a walking and talking physical manifestation of your ancestors.
Oh my.
That's the reality. And that's why acknowledging our ancestors is so important, because again, when you acknowledge your ancestors, you are acknowledging yourself, because yourself and your ancestors are one and the same. There's
Oh
no
my.
difference. There's no beings outside of you, and you're thinking that you're praying or you're talking to something outside of you. No, these entities, these energies are within you. So that's why
Mm.
to acknowledge them. This is why when we go to ancient Kemet or ancient Egypt, majority of the information that we see on the walls, the hieroglyphs or the Medu Neter, is information dealing with the ancestral spirit, giving offerings, taking time, building altars, acknowledging the ancestors, acknowledging the deities, the Neteru or the gods. This is just a part of the work that we're supposed to be doing as humans. Like all humans should be acknowledging their ancestors.
Mm. Mm. And it's leading me back to, so I'm doing the Gentle Vibes Challenge. Last day is tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my days, I focused on be gentle on your roots.
Yes.
Because we are so quick to be like, oh, my mama and my daddy, XYZ.
Yeah.
Who? What? Sit down and puff the brakes, because you don't know what they was going through. You don't know
Exactly.
what resources they did not even have. You don't know what awareness
Exactly.
they did not have.
Yeah.
And so we gotta stop being so trigger happy on being like, oh, I got this and that. Like you spoke on it. You spoke on it in that live. And it was about, we so quick to focus on the bad things that we get handed down, the
Mm-hmm.
disease
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
we get handed down. We focusing too much on that. And what I like to preach is that, worrying is like praying for what you don't want to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're focusing on all the bad stuff you got handed down, what you think's gonna happen?
Yeah,
We got to
definitely.
be focusing on the gifts that was handed down. We got to be focusing on the sacred
Mm-hmm.
stuff that was handed down, not all this and that, not getting caught up in the web. Look, oh, somebody said, boy, you cooking today. Yes, look,
Hey.
he always cooking. Okay.
Hey, so that reminds me of a concept Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches. He talks about. So at one time we were taught to live in the present. That was the wave. Now the new wave is living in the future, meaning the life that you want to see manifest, whether it be health, whether it be abundance, whether it be more love, you now have to start creating that emotion within you. What Dr. Joe calls elevated emotion. You now every day you have to train yourself. You have to train your body. You have to train your mind to feel these emotions. Feel yourself being in that future event. And while you're in that future event, feel those emotions. And the more you do, what happens is you will start to manifest the things that you truly desire. And I truly, and Dr. Joe is using nothing but science to back up his concepts when it comes to healing and manifesting and abundance and healthy and happy relationships. Like we now have to start living in the future and not letting our past dictate us, because most people are living in the past. They're being controlled by old emotions. They're being controlled by old thoughts, old
Mm,
let me repeat that, old trauma. um
yes.
So
Woof.
we gotta start becoming aware of that in the present moment. And while in the present moment, we have to train ourselves to see and feel a different future.
Mm,
And that's how we start to heal.
okay. This gonna be saved. So when y'all get to this point, listen to me, wind it back and listen to him again. Okay. Because that was a whole sermon in itself.
Yes.
The idea of living, because it goes back to my concept I've been coming back to a lot lately. I got another live series on here called Fill Your Cup.
Mm.
And it's not just about what's in the cup, right? Because that's not enough. Or it's not just about, is your cup full? That's not enough. What's in the cup? And
Mm-hmm.
that goes back to that. It's not about living now isn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
We got to embody the future of us.
Yes.
We got to learn how to usher in and be more of that person we want to become every moment, not just every day.
Yes.
That's not enough, right?
Yes. Yes.
Because we got to think of it as momentarily,
Mm-hmm.
because every moment next the moment is the future. Like the next second, the next minute of this live is in the future. We
Yeah.
don't know what spirit's gonna guide us to,
Exactly.
but it's gonna be lit. That's
Yeah.
all I can tell y'all, because gems are coming through. Like, and that is another thing that I have found through my like growth journey and just spiritual journey, I guess, in general. My evolution is that the more I tap into the parts of me that I didn't think were needed or didn't think was a gift or whatever, but I always questioned it, that's that intuition, and just keep flowing with that, because that's what led me to here. And I think sometimes you might not even know if you're on a spiritual awakening, but you start feeling the need to go deeper and the need to follow that innate pulling sensation
Mm-hmm.
that draws you to people or places or things,
Mm-hmm.
and just keep going with that, you
I-
know?
yeah, definitely. So also, I would like to add this. This is a important piece to our spiritual awakening. it's important that we humble ourselves and seek some type of guidance, some type of teacher, because what's
Mm,
happening is people are getting into esoteric metaphysical information and not and having information overload. I've had multiple friends who are now battling with mental health issues, and one of the reasons why they've gotten into certain information and they've opened up certain channels in their mind that they now, or opened up certain doors in their mind that they now cannot close. And
mm,
now it's to the point where they can't even function and be a regular person because
yeah.
they have all this information in their mind that they don't know what to do with.
That part. And thank you for bringing that to the table because seriously, um, and that's another reason too, like in my trauma release work that I do, it's not something you want to dive in quickly. It's
Yeah.
not something that you
Mm.
want to be like, okay, let me dump all this out and read
Yeah.
all these. It's like, you know, too, when you get on that spiritual awakening and you start tapping into all these self-help books, all these
Mm.
podcasts, all this, just as a traumatic experience would overload your nervous system,
Yeah.
that's going to overload your nervous system.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
just like you said, it sparks that imbalance in people. It sparks that mental health issue coming up because like you said, you can't put Pandora back in the box,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Once you got this information, you can't unlearn it just
Yeah.
like that. It's there. And 9 times out of 10, with something you just learned, you're more likely to focus on it more.
Yeah. Definitely.
And
I look at it like this. Most successful people have a method on how they become successful. So for example, if I'm a basketball player and I want to have inspirations to go to the NBA, it would make sense for me to go and find somebody who has reached that level of becoming an NBA player, and just same way with becoming a martial artist. If I want to become a martial artist, it would make sense for me to study and learn from a martial artist who have reached a certain level of mastery. Yes, I can go on
oh,
and learn. Yes, I can go read books. However, when you have a teacher, your teacher is going to first of all, your teacher is going to humble you. Secondly, your teacher is going to make sure that you're thinking in a way that's not crazy. Your teacher is going to hold you accountable because a lot of times when we get
mm,
information, we don't have anybody holding us accountable. So now we can say what we want to say, we can do what we want to do, and what ends up happening is we end up not only hurting ourselves, but we end up hurting a lot of other people because once you get this information, you can manipulate a lot of people. But
woo,
if you have a teacher, not saying you're going to be perfect, but now you have somebody that's going to hold you accountable. And I truly believe when we get this information, um, we should be held accountable. And this is the last thing. And the reason why I say that
mm,
is because we're in the information age, and a lot of the information that people are getting into now at one time was sacred information, meaning you had to go through initiations, you had to go through some type of rites of passage to make
rites of
sure
passage, brother. Oh
yeah,
my,
make sure your mind and your heart was pure before you can go on to the next level. Nowadays, we don't have that. And that's why nowadays we're seeing a lot of people who are quote unquote conscious, misleading a lot of people, manipulating a lot of people. A lot of corruption has been taking place within the conscious community. Is because a lot of people don't have the proper guidance and the proper structure around them.
mm. That is a whole word. And Dr. Shelley had literally, I mean, she's touched on that before. And it's true because, okay, when you think about, like you said, you think about some of this information that used to be sacred
Yeah,
information, you could
yeah,
buy it off Amazon right now for
yes,
$10. Go
yep,
get it. But look, what state is your heart in? What state is your mind in
exactly,
that you're receiving this information? Because you might not be receiving it at the right time you're supposed to be receiving it
yes,
because of its accessibility.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like you said about like being manipulative with it,
Mm-hmm.
because once you are aware in a certain way, you might not be working from a pure heart or a pure space. And so you're taking your knowledge, and instead of using it in a positive way, you're out here doing dirty work.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And,
why he going after the sun. And see, look, that's one thing too I love about Dr. Joe's and about your teachings
mm-hmm.
is you're so much in science and spirituality, bringing it in union. And
Mm-hmm.
that is so important because we need to feel validated in
Yeah.
what we are teaching and what we are passing down. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we need to know that it is from divine space, not it leads back to like there's something I like to say, you know, you can send a demon to the right person and they could show it the light, but you could also show the light to some persons and
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna break out their demons
Oh yeah,
real
definitely.
quick, real quick. So Daisy said up here, she asked you what continuously pulls you closer to yourself. Ooh, I like that.
Um, that's a good question. Because I know within myself, I have work that needs to be done.
Mm,
Especially when it comes to opening up my heart. Um,
mm,
and being more loving, being more transparent, being more forgiving.
mm,
Those are things that I'm constantly, since I've been doing Dr. Joe's work. I started doing Dr. Joe's work July the 3rd. I've been doing this work every single day, uh, really opening up my heart, tapping
mm,
into what he calls the energy centers, what we know as the chakras. Um, Doing that work, and I've been on this journey for a while, and I've learned from some really powerful people, but I'm now truly starting to really tap into my heart center. I've been
mm,
knowing about heart work for a long time, but now since I've been doing Dr. Joe's work, and the fact that I'm going through an initiation too, and that right
mm,
there has been opening up my heart as well, because
mm.
um now I'm being taught the importance of singing, dancing, drumming, etc., to really open myself up to spirit and to the ancestors, and to my true power.
Oh,
So I hope that answered your question.
I love that. I love all of that. And it's something so powerful to be expressing in that way. And especially as parents, especially in front of our children,
Mm-hmm.
because those will be the memories they hold on to. Those will be, you know, once they are at their level of awareness, they'll be like, man, so that's why mom and dad was doing this, and that's why
Yeah,
da 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 da. And our children are our legacy. And so we got to think about what we're passing down to them
yeah, definitely,
in all aspects. All aspects.
definitely, I agree.
Mm. Man, so um let me see. I think we touched on everything. Uh everything that some people asked. One person didn't really ask a question. They just put a statement, so maybe you'll have a response for this or maybe not, but they said the world outside responds to the world inside of you.
Mm. I like to look at it as the only way out is in. That's what made, when I hearing that, I instantly think about that quote. The only way out is in.
Yep.
Also, it also makes me think about, again, Dr. Joe's work when he talks about the importance of us being more than our environment, meaning not letting our environment dictate how we behave or how we perceive the world. Being more than our body, meaning those days when you're tired, those days that you're sick, those days you're not feeling well, like you have to push past that feeling. Being more than your mind, meaning those days when you mentally you're not at your best, you still have to push through those moments. And the more we push through those moments, the more we become greater than our environment, the more we become greater than our body, become greater than our minds. This is how we start to heal. This is how we start to transform and become something better. And Dr. Joe teaches, like, the reason why a lot of us are so sick is because we are caught up in old paradigms. We're caught up in old ways of thinking. We're caught up in old emotions. We're caught up in old trauma. And this is why you can become, he talks about in his clinic that a lot of the people that were coming who had health issues wasn't the people who were eating meat. It was actually the people who were on plant-based diet. And he said that the reason why these people were still developing this illness, the disease that they were trying to prevent, is because they had a fear of being this perfect person. And last thing, and if you don't believe me, there's a documentary on YouTube called Heal. Dr. Joe is a part of that as well. I actually got that. I purchased that on YouTube. But it was, have you ever seen that before?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so it was a woman on there who had the best diet. She was a vegan, raw foodist. She did X, Y, and Z. She had the perfect life, but yet she still developed a chronic illness. And the reason being is because she did not heal that trauma that she was going
Mm. And you didn't heal that mindset, like you
through. That
said.
mindset.
And it goes back to, and I love this teaching that you I love this teaching that you provide, and this offering that you provide of like healing with your mind and healing with your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Because do you want to know, okay, first day first day of the Gentle Vibes Challenge, just a quick reflection for me. On Monday, or on the very first day, I would have shared a reflection in how I was being gentle with my mind.
Mm.
And I calmly took myself to my dental appointment, because before coming into a more mindful living, a more mindful lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
I was taking Xanax before I went to a dentist appointment, because your girl had dental trauma from my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because I wasn't shown good dental hygiene. I wasn't
Yeah, yeah,
shown how to
yeah,
take care of myself in that way.
yeah.
And so I had to calm little Carly inside and be like, look, girl, we're going to be all right. One of my affirmations and prayers that I put over myself, and it's been almost daily for the past year, is I am rich in physical, mental, and dental health.
I say.
Because to be rich means to be full of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and for me, I see my good dental appointments and good checkups as, okay, girl, that's affirmation that you still taking good care of yourself. I see
Yep.
my good check-ins with my therapist. Okay, girl, we
Mm-hmm.
taking good care of ourselves. Because once again, it's all about mind, body, spirit. It's
Yep.
it's all connected.
Yep. I say.
And if you're not at that mindset, if you questioning whether or not you are your healer, the answer is in this here. This live is a testimony that you can be your healer.
Mm-hmm.
We are our healers. We are our ancestors'
Mm-hmm.
healers, because we tap into that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it goes back to what you always say, and I love it. The only way out is in.
Only way out is in.
Brother, I'm saying, like, if there was not a truer, I'm gonna need to make you t-shirts. I'm gonna need to make you some t-shirts to sell. Cause
uh,
look,
yeah, I need. Yeah, that would be dope. I need to give me some t-shirts.
yes,
I
yes.
before I forget, I would like to share a service, especially if people want to get a deeper connection with their ancestors, I do a reading. I do a divination reading. It's not a tarot card reading. It's a divination reading, and it's called the crab. And the reason why it's called a crab is because if you look at the nature of a crab can not only live in the water, but it can live on the land. So the the reading touches on not only the physical well-being of a human being, but it also touches on the spiritual well-being of a human. And what happens is when you get this crab reading, I touch on your past, your present, and your future, and I help identify blockages that you may have in your life. And what happens is I touch on your relationships, your career, your health, et cetera, et cetera. And I help you identify blockages in your life. And once you identify these blockages, this is when you can really start to tap more into your intuition. You will have better dreams. You'll be more spiritually grounded. You will have more mental clarity. Your health will improve because again, a lot of according to Dr. Joe's work, a lot of disease starts on a spiritual and emotional level, and then manifests in a physical level. So this divination reading helps with removing blockages that's in your life. So if anybody ever would like to contact me and want to set up a reading, just let me know.
I tap in. I
Okay.
volunteer.
Okay.
Look, I'm gonna be in it. I'm gonna be
Okay.
messaging you after this.
Okay.
Bet.
Okay.
Bet. I'm gonna be messaging you.
You're gonna love it. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. And this particular reading I do is something that I was trained in. I had to go through an initiation to get this particular knowledge. Matter of fact, my teacher was a brother named Chief Amanchi. May he rest in peace. He was actually in the movie Black Panther. But he transitioned a couple years ago. But he taught me this technique, and it's very, very powerful. Like I said, it's not like the tarot cards. I'm not saying tarot cards are not good, but this goes a lot deeper into a person's life
spiritually. And see, that's where I'm ready to tap in deeper. So look, we will be in touch
Okay.
because and it's something beautiful about being able to support each other in our gifts.
Definitely.
So I look forward to this. I look forward to talking even more.
And the last thing, connected to the reading, I give solutions. What I tell people bring a pencil and something and a piece of paper, and I give you a lot of information, a lot of practical information that you can start applying to your life, so you can really start to create the life that you want to see.
Yes.
Yep.
That part. I'm excited. And it's, oh my gosh, I can hear my sons out here yelling. So it's definitely something that I think more people need to be tapping into right now, especially, if you are feeling like I've been feeling in full alignment. That's what you said, and that's what hits. Like I've been feeling in some full alignment lately, but there are some more questions. And so that's where I need to tap in deeper is spiritually. And so it's like this connection was obviously in divine timing, right?
Definitely.
Because who knew you got a solution I might could benefit from.
Definitely. Also, I have a book. I forget the author's name, but the book is called Psychiatrists and Witch Doctors. So it was a psychiatrist who went to don't let the label witch doctor throw the people off, because that's just a label. Somebody on the outside put on some people that's on the inside. So it was a psychiatrist who went to study indigenous people from around the world, and what he found out was a lot of the techniques that they do in his field is stuff that the people were naturally doing within their culture. And some of the things he seen that was different was the fact that he has clients, but the witch doctor or the quote unquote healer in his community, he has family members or he has friends. So the reason why I'm bringing that up is because the readings I do is like a form of therapy.
Mm,
But on a
mm.
spiritual level, it's a form of
Mm.
therapy. And when people get these readings, and when they're done, they just feel better. It's a relief. They just feel better. And the more you get
Yes.
these readings, what happens is, like I said before, you become more spiritually in tune. Your intuition increases because now you don't have so much things blocking you that connection to the spirit world.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. See, and it's crazy, man, because I swear the way this is definitely a calling right now, and it's crazy that we connected. It's not crazy, it's amazing. It's all divine. So it's funny because I've been tapping in more spiritually. Like I've had some moments lately where I can't even explain. Oh, lost connection, it looks like. Let me see. Oh, hopefully he comes back to us. Oh, he said crab. CRAB. Crab reading. Oh no. Full circles, Daisy. Whew. Gratitude. This was beautiful. Well, if that's where it ends, that's where it ends. If you can't tap back in. But the crab readings, I will be posting a link to his page after this on my story so that you all can look for that service, yes, and look for that offering. Um, Definitely all in divine timing, definitely a trusted source that, you can trust your spirit in that man's hands. Let's see. Oh, not joined back. All right, well, if that's it, that's it. I'll give him a couple more minutes. If not, we will end it here because that was a lot of beautiful stuff. You're good. You can hear them on the back. It's still on, but I was waiting to see if they could rejoin. If not, I'll just tap out. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for tapping in. And thank you, Justelina and Daisy. Oh, I just see where Daisy said heal is amazing. Yes. So thank you all. And until next